Welcome to this special virtual event presented by the Spires at Berry College. We are so grateful that you have chosen to be here with us today. My name is Melissa Smith. I will be your facilitator for this special event. And we have a terrific group of people lined up ready to answer your questions about the Spires at Berry College, ready to help you understand what a move to this community might look like as well. So here's what we are going to talk about today. We are going to meet some residents who've already moved in. We're going to hear all about what's going on around here. We're going to get a better understanding of what it really looks like to actually make a physical move to the Spires. We're going to hear about new financing options and selling options, and we're going to take you through next steps and answer some questions. So a quick note about questions today. If you have a question, right there on your computer screen, if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see a form there. You put in your name, you type in your question, you hit submit. Those questions can come directly to us. And as those come up, if it's appropriate, we will answer it right there on the spot. If we need to wait until the end of the presentation, we'll hold it and we'll answer them then. But I want to assure you that we will get all of your questions answered today for sure. And it doesn't matter if you think of it later on or anytime, just pop it in there and it'll come straight to us. I am kind of excited to tell you about this property because there is this really great story that comes with the connection between Berry College and the Spires. And it's just this fun historical story that just makes the whole thing so charming. So, what happened was back around 1920, there was a wealthy family that lived here in Rome, Georgia, and they had substantial property, as you can see here. And they wanted their daughter, Martha Berry, to have a private place where she could study and write. So, what did they do? Well, they just built her a little, little quotes, little cabin in the woods. Isn't that darling? And she would go there every Sunday. She'd sit there, she'd read the Bible, she'd study scripture, she'd meditate. And you know what? It didn't take very long before the children in the nearby mountains, they found the cabin. They knocked on the door. They met Martha, and Martha was soon reading to them and teaching them the Bible. And it's from that rich history in this beautiful setting where Berry College was born, really. So when the campus was under construction back in the 20s, Martha wanted every building to have a spire. Yes, see where I'm going with this? Yes, the reason for a spire on every building is because Martha really wanted to give students and faculty a reason to look up and to be grateful to God and to honestly to aspire to make this a better world to live in. And so when you visit the college today, make sure you look up because there's even a spire on top of the chicken coop. I'm not kidding. There's one there. So make sure you check that out. And of course, that's how this beautiful new community, the Spires, got its name as well. And yes, every building on the Spires property has a spire on it too. Isn't that fun? So today, the college campus is really a place for students, of course, but it's also a place for the residents of the Spires. In fact, one of the residents who will be joining us today, he was just there this morning. So you can attend classes if you want. You can walk the grounds, use the library, and it creates really this unique intergenerational experience for everyone, for the young, for the older adults. And it's exactly how the trustees of the college designed this. It is why this beautiful property is for older adults because you know what? When you look at it, it could have been a gorgeous park, it could have been an amazing resort, but the purpose for them was to bring these two generations together to have this beautiful property for older adults and for their retirement. Now, before we get to our individual presentations, I really want you to meet everybody here on the screen. Hi, everybody. How's it going? Great
Hi.
to see everybody. Yes,
Great.
we've got everybody here, which
Hi.
is awesome. And I'd love to, before we get into the individual presentations, to just kind of go around the room. And I've got a question for you. I'm going to start with the residents, Dr. Stuart Smith and Anita Smith. You guys have lived there 4 months now. I mean, you were one of the first ones to move into this property. Tell me, and I know it's going to be hard, tell me just one thing that you really like about the Spires.
One thing that makes it very difficult, but
Yeah.
I think the one thing that I can name is the people. Um, it was just an immediate welcoming, and then meeting people, and no one is shy. You can go up to anyone and say, I don't know you. What is your name? And they do the same with you. And it also seems like all of the activities are meant to bring all of us together so that each time we enter a room or whatever, we know another name and another association. So I would say it's the people for myself.
Dr. Smith?
Well, for me, we've lived in Rome 50 years, and when we came looking at Rome, they took us to Berry College right off the bat, and that was one of the things that really pulled us here from Kansas, a long ways away from Toto and the tornadoes. But what I like best is the countryside, all the surrounding areas. Two of my favorite things are wildflowers and bird watching, and it's everywhere out here. No matter where you look, are opportunities for wildlife.
Oh, I love that. Susie Edwards, thank you so much for joining us today as well. How long have you been at the Spires before you tell me your one favorite thing that you love about that place?
I have been at the Spires for 1 week and 2 days.
Wow, you're a newbie.
I'm a very, very much of a newbie. Yeah.
Is it too early to say that one thing you love the most so
No,
far?
it's not. I knew the first morning. I love the view from my apartment. I am on the 3rd floor and I face the lake. And when I roll over in bed in the morning, I see the lake and the mist rising off from it. And it is just gorgeous. And I also see the sunrise and the sunset from my apartment. So to me, it's the view. I'm just in awe every morning.
Oh, that is so lovely. I love
Wonderful.
that. Love that. So hang on, our residents. I want to ask the other folks that a quick question too here, but I'm going to get back to you real quickly and we're going to talk a little bit more about your experience with the Spires. So Jennifer Hornacek, can you wave and let everybody know who you are? There you are. So Jennifer, you're with the moving station, and I know we're going to hear all about the moving station in a minute, but you've been helping seniors transition from their homes into the Spires now. Why is it that I mean, clearly you enjoy working with older adults. What is that about?
You know, we're asked this a lot, and I can tell you personally, my soul is filled. I can tell you from a company standpoint, our business is relocation, but our passion is serving. And to serve just completely falls in line with the Spires of Berry College. We're all here to serve each other. And certainly here at Moving Station, we're here to serve all of the future residents.
Oh, that is so great. Fills your soul. I love that. So Morgan and Jill, the two of you have been working on this property way before there was ever a door that was there. So what is an important takeaway that you want folks attending today, that you want them to take with them when we're done today? We're going to start, I think let's start with Jill, if that's okay.
Okay, I think the great takeaway from today is, and I think we chatted about that a little earlier, is how active this community is. Our little marketing office is off to the side some, and Sarah and I laugh all the time that we'll take the golf cart to the commons area or wherever, and we look out and all the residents in the cottages are biking and walking and hiking, and we're like, okay, I never thought I would come here and desire to get physically fit, but now I'm motivated by everybody around me who's moving all the time. And I think our wellness and fitness center is the happening spot here. So just the level of activity happening here is amazing.
It's inspiring, I'm sure. And you mentioned Sarah, who's not with us on here today because I know she's busy there. But we're going to have, you might tell folks who she is and her role there too, because I know we're going to be talking about her a little bit.
Sarah is helping us right now in the marketing department. She's actually really supposed to be in a Magnolia Place in the skilled nursing department, but she is a wealth of information as far as the levels of care. So between her and I, we're kind of the yin and yang of the independent living, and she has the continuing care part down. So together we work really well together.
Cool. I wanted to mention that because we're going to see a slide in a little bit that has her picture on it, and I wanted to make sure people know who Sarah is. So Morgan, sorry I cut you off a minute ago. What is it what's the takeaway that you want folks to have today?
Well, while I absolutely agree the community is amazing. The people are amazing. I know people at home might be a little nervous about how do I get from point A to point B. So I hope that everyone can understand an interesting idea and a way to make that happen. And that's really the plan that we're going to lay out today.
Love it. Well, we are going to ask everyone except the residents to step out of the Zoom room for just a minute. And I want to visit with the residents, really kind of have a heart to heart with you all, and try to ask you questions that I believe our attendees today might be interested in. Certainly, they can ask those questions that they have too if I don't do so. So, my first question is, because this is a big decision for folks, what is it about the Spires that really speaks to your soul? What is it that you were like, that's the place for me? This is the time for me to go? Sure. Smiths can go first.
Anybody?
Yeah.
I think what for us, and it is a hard decision, and I think we took several years to decide, but we, placed our money down and thought, well, we can just kind of have the time to decide. But several very, very good friends all of a sudden had illnesses, and they got to a point where they couldn't move from where they were, and their children had to come and help them, and then they had to move to another place, and they didn't get to do it like they really wanted to. And it really made such an impression on us, and we both felt that as long as we felt good and still had a lot of energy and a lot of interest, we wanted to be in a place that was this beautiful. And so we just are so thrilled with our decision and know that this is where we're supposed to be.
And I really feel like that has to be a relief for your children, your adult children.
When we moved to Rome, our parents were in their 60s in Kansas, and we were 800 miles away. And they had a chance to move into a situation very similar to this all those years ago. It was just being built at the University of Kansas, close to the school, way to go back and edited classes if you wanted, and all those other things. And we watched them grow older over 30 years there. They passed away there. Everything was so far away from us, and yet we never worried about it because they had done this. And they mentioned the fact that one of the things they were doing was trying to ease the burden of their sons, who were a very long ways away physically, but were close enough to a telephone, no computers then. And so we tried about 30 years ago trying to get people in Rome to be interested in one of these situations. It's taken that long to come up with something that was perfect.
Oh, that's so great. And Susie, what about you? What is it about this place, the Spires at Berry College, that really speaks to you?
About 8 years ago, my husband died, and I found myself a widow in a large home, maintaining it. And I thought, well, I could do that from now on. About 3 years after that, I realized I could not maintain it. It was just too much. Everything was breaking, and I found I could isolate myself too much. And there were times it was very lonely, and there was no one around. And they started talking about the Spires. So I went to the initial meetings about the Spires, and I thought, this is where I want to go, to the Spires. It'll have the healthcare, it'll have everything I need. But my only problem at that point was they were talking about they being ready in about 2-3 years, and I thought, well, I won't be 75 yet, and I hadn't thought about moving any place till I turned 75, right? Thought I would be 73. Well, this year I turned 75. So the couple years delay was okay, and God answered that question. But for me, it's ideal as a widow. There are people around. They take care of my cleaning. I don't have to cook dinners anymore. There's just all the stuff I love about it. And I would never go back to my own home again.
So you don't miss the maintenance, do you?
Oh, I do not miss the maintenance whatsoever.
I know that is so true. Just that whole piece of trying to manage our homes and all, and to be able to have that burden lifted off has
That's
to
exactly right. Yeah.
feel huge.
Yeah.
We touched on this a little bit off the top, talking about the activities and all that is taking place there. So I would love to hear from both of you. Have you gotten involved in that very much? And Susie, I know you're the newbie, but somehow I can just tell by your personality, you're probably already very involved. So I think I'll start with the Smiths. What all do you enjoy doing there at the Spires at Berry College?
Well, the Wellness and Health Center has become a very big part of our life, and practically every morning we exercise with our wonderful personal trainer, Andrea, and she has classes of all levels from the very most simple to the most difficult, which is not that difficult, but we do find ourselves in very strange positions sometimes. But we have a wonderful workout room, and several of our friends take advantage of the classes in the pool. The teacher comes over from the Y, and she's well known to this community, and it's quite a workout, I understand. So I would say for me, it's definitely the workout center.
And Dr. Smith, you had mentioned before we started today that you were on the Berry College this morning campus.
That's true. Twice a week with Andrea, the trainer, we take some power walks. Of course, these are roads and paths through the woods that I've been on many times. If I scratched my name in a tree, you'd know where I was. And yeah, we've had a terrific time. I just want you to know that in spite of all my physical improvements, I still can't touch my toes. They're called
Oh,
their nickname is the Untouchables.
oh, you'll get there. I am confident you will get there. And so, Susie, what about you? What all have you been able to kind of get involved in, or at least consider while in these last 10 days?
It's basically been considering. I had decided when I moved here, I would not really do anything until I got totally moved in, unboxed, and settled. I want the boxes gone, which has happened today. So I'm anxious to get to the water aerobics classes. I had been doing that in another place before I moved here, and I missed that. So that's one thing I want to do. And some of the stretching classes, I had taken Pilates classes before.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm hoping the stretching will be similar to that. So yeah, I want to start getting to the classes.
Well, have you, was because I obviously know the Smiths really, the outdoor piece is important to them. Was the outdoor piece there important to you before you moved in? Was there something about that setting? I mean, I know you love the sunsets and all, but I mean, being in it, are you a person who likes to be out in nature? You like to look at it from your window?
No, I like to be out in nature. I like to do walking. So yes, I'm anxious to do some of these walks. Notice they've had a health walk the last Tuesday and Thursday morning. And I haven't participated in that because again, I was going to get totally moved into my apartment first.
Sure,
But
sure.
that has happened now. So now I can start looking at some of those things. But yes, I
Yay!
may do the walking.
That'll be great.
Yeah.
I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the obvious that the reason we're even doing a virtual event, honestly, is because of COVID, right? So, and Dr. Smith, if you don't mind, you're a doctor. How do you feel like the Spires is handling the pandemic and keeping folks safe there? What is your take on this?
They spent an awful lot of time putting this together and a lot of thinking. I think we're doing as good a job as anybody when you compare us to the various nursing homes of the vicinity. There are little concepts showing up every day in the newspapers, and they've got this little list of all the different places where people are in situations similar to where we are, and they don't even list the Spires. We don't even fit the list yet, which is a good thing to me. And I think that everybody's realizes we're in a tight situation here, and we're making the best of it, and we still are doing most everything we want to do.
Just being careful.
That's right.
Mhm.
For sure.
Awesome. Awesome. I mean, Susie, you moved in so recently. Was there anything about that move in that seemed unusual or unsafe or anything like that for you?
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, we were all required to wear a mask, and that was good. I had to check in at the front desk, have our temperatures taken. Even my moving crew did. The man who moved my piano for me, he had to also. They all had to wear a mask and do the protocol. So it felt very safe.
Very good. I got to ask, I think this is only fair to ask. Okay, I'm making an assumption here. Anita, are you the chef of the family or is it Dr. Smith?
Wow, that's easy.
Yes.
Is it you, Anita? Okay, so, okay, Dr. Smith, so is the food as good as Anita's at the Spires? Be careful.
Well,
Be careful how you answer.
You have to understand that my likes and dislikes when it comes to food are pretty squirrely, and she put up with me for 56 years, and but there's some things that I haven't particularly care. I don't like onions, and the family
Oh,
likes onions, and so I said, would you consider making something without the onions? And they have. They have a
see?
little. Yeah, they're anxious to help people that are as spooky as me.
Yeah. So what about you, Susie? Do you like the meals? And you too, Anita. I need to know what you think as well.
Love the food. I mean, for dinner, I mean, I love going out for dinner every night, and that's what it feels like. And
Oh, fun.
I can take my wine with me, which is awesome. Or I could order it, but I take it with me. And I mean, I had duck and the rice one night. I've had the flounder and the pilaf and
Yum.
cheese and grits, and the hamburger is awesome. I mean, the food is wonderful. I even went down my first morning here because I brought my coffee pot, but I couldn't find my coffee cups. Okay, so I decided I'm just going to go down and get coffee. Well, I ended up buying a muffin also, and it was a pumpkin muffin, and it was wonderful, wonderful. So the food to me, I just think is just great, and this is my idea of heaven, being able to eat out every day.
Oh, that's so fun. So Anita, I guess the moral of the story is with Stuart is that you can now eat onions anytime you want, right? Because
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about what he likes and doesn't
I
like
love it.
anymore.
I love it. But
That's so
I
good.
tell you, one of the most appetizing things about mealtime are our precious students from Berry College
Oh,
that take such good care of us. They're so interested in our lives, and we have visits with them, or at least they pretend to be. But it's more fun to get to know them and to talk about what their future dreams are for at college. Or it's just been, I think that relationship between, and it's like our grandchildren, their ages. But that has been one of the highlights, I think.
You
and
know,
that is, go ahead, doctor.
with COVID, we haven't been able to see our grandchildren. They're only 100 miles away, give or take, and we can't see any of them. And so these kids here are sort of taking over as our grandchildren, if you will.
That's
Yeah,
right.
that is such an important point though, and I'm so glad you brought that up, Anita, because we haven't talked about that. And that is that so many of the students from the college are over at the Spires every single day in different roles. Some are in office roles, some are in server roles, some are in housekeeping roles. They're in all are very involved. So not only do you residents of the Spires get to go to Berry College, but the students at Berry College come over to the Spires. And I failed to mention that off the top. So I'm really glad that you brought that out. Okay, well, I so appreciate your thoughts and your candid conversation, your candid answers to what is going on there and what your lives are like. And I think that's important for folks to understand. We're going to kind of go through these other steps here by getting more into our presentation. We're going to come back to you all at the end of the presentations. So as questions come in to you, we'll have you get those answered. Okay. So thanks so much to you guys. And I'm going to pull Morgan Lamphere in now, if I can. She is the Vice President of Marketing for the Spires and for the development company that brought the Spires to Rome, Georgia. And so, Morgan, I think where we want to start with you is to talk, if we can, about COVID-19. Talk about what the process has been like for you all to manage this. It's such a strange time, yet you all have figured out how to open up this beautiful community. And clearly, what the residents were saying is that life has gone on just fine. So, Morgan, we can't hear you. We're going to try. I know Morgan's more. Oh, there we go. Can we hear her now? You know what? Let's pull Jill in because I know Morgan is in a remote place right now. So we'll get Jill to come in here and kind of help us walk through the steps that are being taken at the Spires with COVID-19 and the pandemic. So Jill, take it away.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, it is rampant cleaning here. So lots of cleaning and sanitizing. So I've gotten to know our housekeeping staff really well because I see them every 2 seconds wiping things down. So they're doing an amazing job. We do wellness checks when you come in. We do a little name badge that you get if you're a visitor or you're taking a tour. So we take your temperature, you get a little sticker. Everyone wears a mask. Social distancing, even though the dining area is open, Everybody is spaced out at least 6 feet apart, exercising in the stretching and yoga. I see them outside all the time because they've run out of room in the aerobics studio, staying 6 feet apart because, like I said,
Sure.
it's the most popular place. So now they just go outside and work out there.
Awesome. Hey, I got a quick question for you. Can the residents have visitors on the campus or no?
They can now. We just started family visits. We ask that they stay outside, not in the commons areas, not to eat together because obviously to eat, you take your mask off.
Sure.
So we just have some regulations, but yes, families can visit.
So tell us more about the Spires, if you will.
Our doors opened on June 1st, and it was an amazing day. Our first residents moved in, and in full disclosure, those residents were my parents. They were the very first people to move in. And it's been an interesting ride with my parents. So I have to say, if my father, who I consider a fabulous human, but also a little grumpy, can be happy here, I feel like everybody can. We have 6 individual freestanding cottages with double garages, your own little yard, 127 apartment homes in the commons, and 17 apartment homes in Longleaf Lodge. Our healthcare center is beautiful and amazing and looks just like you don't even know that you've entered a different area. It's such a great flow from independent living to healthcare. And as we have 100+ residents starting that will be moved in by the end of 2020.
So yeah, the property is absolutely so beautiful, and we've got some video. We're gonna kind of look at some of these drone shots that have been taken that shows the outside of the community and really the the terrain beyond the lake. It's just stunning. It looks like a resort that you would spend all kinds of money to go to for a week and be pampered, and now you just get to move in and be pampered, right? It is terrific. We've got Morgan. We believe we've got Morgan's signal back here. So
I believe so. Can you hear me
yes,
okay
we
now?
can. We can hear you.
Oh,
So we'll
I'm
let
so
you
sorry.
pick it up.
Thank you.
No, that's okay. Well, we'll ask you to pick it up from here because even though everything is so beautiful and the amenities are great and we clearly know the food is good and wonderful activities, sometimes it's still a hard decision, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. So we're hearing from folks that either maybe have had a deposit at the Spires and were thinking that now is the perfect time to move into the community, that COVID has just put the brakes on everything. And so that is something that as a team, we've had to sit down and understand it makes sense. A lot of folks are still on the fence about this move. And in normal times, people are on the fence about what to do. Should I stay in my house? Should I move? What should we do next? So we get that you might be on the fence. And what we want to say is that's okay. We totally understand that you are in a place where you're trying to figure out a lot of different decisions and you may have a lot of different family members involved. So because we are in these unprecedented times, we came up with some special financial opportunities to hopefully make this move from your home today to the Spires as easy as possible for you. And really, this is the very best time to take advantage of these because we do have these special opportunities going on and you don't want to miss being one of the first people to move in. You can already see the fun that Susie and Dr. Smith and Mrs. Smith have been having. And they have only been there for just a few short months. And in Susie's case, just a few days. This is a really fun group and we don't want you to miss out. So let me walk you through what we've done to put together these financial opportunities. So when you come to the Spires and you come to visit with Jill and with Sarah and you look at some of the different home opportunities that we have, right now you can select one of those homes by putting down a $5,000 whole deposit. So in the old days, you would have to put down a full 10% reservation deposit, which could be anywhere from $10,000 all the way to $76,000. So we have decided to make this reservation process as easy as possible so you can reserve a home at the Spires with a $5,000 hold deposit. That deposit's fully refundable, so there's no risk involved whatsoever. You can reserve the home for 60 days. So you could come in right now, put down a hold deposit for $5,000, and as long as you pay the 10% deposit by the end of the year, at that point, you're actually able to plan your move to the Spires anytime within the first 6 months of 2021. So we want to give you plenty of time to make this move happen. So you can make this whole deposit, pay the 10% deposit within 2 months, and then have until June of 2021 to make the move.
So Morgan, a quick question.
Mhm.
It's terrific to go ahead and get your home sold and then do everything what seems to be in order. But, I
Yes.
think there can be folks who are a little uncomfortable about selling their home now, having the showings where all kinds of people are coming in and out of your home. Is there any
Mhm.
other kind of option like moving in there and then selling your home?
You've got it. Boy, who would have thought? We used to try to talk people into this idea years ago. Say, but you know what? Why not just pick up your bedroom set, pick up a few items in your living room, get your kitchen set up at your new community, and then let somebody else deal with the home sale. And now that we're in COVID times, this is becoming an extremely attractive opportunity. Move first and then sell your home after you've actually moved into the community. So the way that we make this work, of course, you're wondering, well, don't I have to pay an entrance fee to move in? Normally, yes. But what we're offering at the community is a promissory note program. So we actually, when you move into the Spires, we go ahead and pay your entrance fee for you. So it's a great way for you to have this opportunity where you can actually move into the community, bring all of your favorite things, and not have to work with different vendors and potentially different potential buyers coming in and out of your home, which could certainly put you at risk. We want to try to help you make this move as safely as possible. So here's how the promissory note program works. You decide on your move-in date, and it could be anywhere from next week until June of next year. You pick your move-in date to the Spires. Once you decide on your move-in date, as long as your home has qualified, we can actually pay your entrance fee for you, and you will start paying your monthly service fees. So the monthly service fees start on the day that you move in. And the promissory note is a no interest loan that you get to have for up to 90 days. So when you pay an entrance fee to get into the Spires, as most of you already know, the entrance fees could be anywhere from $110,000 all the way up to $760,000. So it all depends on the size and the location of your home. So you can take advantage of this program. And I challenge you, if you can find any bank in the world that will give you a loan for $760,000, no interest, no collateral needed, I would really be surprised to find that. So we're going to give you that loan for no interest for 90 days. And after that 90-day period, if you haven't paid the loan back, then there will be an interest rate that you'll have to pay on the loan. And you can keep the loan for up to 12 months. Now, because we don't want you to pay any interest rate, and the community does want that entrance fee to come into the community, we're going to do everything that we can to help you sell your home. And I'm going to introduce you to our partners at the moving station in just a little while, and they can kind of walk you through how this works. But the pros of the promissory note program is it allows you to move into the Spires and get started with your life at the community. The home sale and all of the logistics around the home sale, things like staging the home, maybe you need to be doing some work around the home, maybe you've got some landscaping work to be done. we can coordinate all of that work for you. Maybe you've got a barn that's full of junk out in the yard and that needs to get taken care of. We can actually take care of all of that program for you. And we can take care of the logistics of that for you. And in fact, we'll even pay to take care of those things for you because we want you to live at the Spires so much. So with this program, you can be living in the Spires. Let us take care of the hassle of selling the home. And then once that is done, the proceeds or whatever the funds that you need to pay the entrance fees can be paid back. The advantage of this, hands down, is that you get to start your life at the Spires right away. But of course, there's always a downside. So what are the cons of going into this promissory note program? So the promissory note, if you do go beyond that 90-day time period, there is going to be an interest rate that you're going to pay, and it's 8% per annum. Now, we don't want you to be paying that interest rate. We want to get your home sold within that 90-day period. So you have to, you do have the option also, if you wanted to enter into a low refund entrance fee program, that is another option that we can do for you. So these are some of the options that you just want to consider with the promissory note program. So what do we require? We would like for you to get a comparative market analysis report from your real estate agent, and we can help you get one of those with our partners at the moving station. We want to get a CMA for you so that we know the value of your home, so we all have a good understanding of how much you're expected to sell that home for. We'd also, and another option, you might have already had another offer letter that's already put together for your home. So that would also work for you to qualify for the promissory note program. Or if you maybe had some other sort of a financial arrangement that you knew, for example, we had a couple who had a CD that was going to be due at a certain time period. So that also worked for us to approve that couple for the promissory note program. So that's some of the documentation. That, in addition to your application to the Spires and your promissory note application, which is about a 3-page application, pretty good for a no interest loan. That's really all you need to do in order to qualify for the promissory note.
That is
So
awesome. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Pretty
Go ahead,
exciting.
Morgan. Yeah, it's very exciting.
Okay. We're really excited about it. And I know there's some complex ideas that we kind of talked about there. And I just wanted to remind you, Melissa, I really want to walk through that timeline just to sort of help everyone understand what does that look like if you were to kind of consider the financial program that we're putting forth right now.
Absolutely. And Jill is going to take us through that timeline in just a little bit with the next steps. What I thought, if it's okay, Morgan, to pull Jen in. You mentioned Jen and the moving station. And I think maybe we want to get her in here to kind of help people get their heads wrapped around, you know, how we're going to actually physically do this, because I think it's so overwhelming to, at least it is for me. I think about, I've been living in the same house for 20 years. How in the world am I going to totally manage this, putting all the pieces together, downsizing, deciding what's going to go where? And I just think that that would be a great thing for you to help us get our heads wrapped around. Jen, how are you?
I'm great and thrilled to be able to really provide a little bit more information about the program Moving Made Easy, that, by the way, is a gift, a present. There is no charge to you.
Really?
And this is provided by the Spires of Berry College.
Wow.
And an interesting fact, did you know that the third most stressful event that any of us will ever do is moving and selling our house? And I love that the Spires of Berry College care so much about each of the residents that they're providing as a gift our program Moving Made Easy. And it's neat. We've been doing this for a long time, since 1995. We've helped support a little bit over 90,000 folks with their relocations or transitions into their community. We truly are the leader in senior relocation. Do a couple of unique things that are different than your local realtor that you might know on how they can help you. What we do is we're partnering with your realtor, and we'll talk about this in just a minute with some of our home sale solutions that are being offered to you by the Spires of Berry College. And let's kind of jump in a little bit. One of the neat things with our program, Moving Made Easy, is each person, you are going to be provided with your very own personal relocation manager. It's a one-to-one relationship. They are there to help you with everything. I know today we're talking just about home sale solutions and what this looks like. To let you know, your personal relocation manager can also help you with when to call a van line. What van line do you call? How do I know what kind of estimate I should be looking at? Maybe you need things to go into storage. Maybe you need help with a professional organizer. Like Susie shared, she had some help when she moved in. Take advantage of all of these different services that your personal relocation manager can help you. In addition to all of the great ways we can support you, we also are here to provide a home sale solution program for you. Walking you through a little bit, it's kind of neat how we do this. We had developed some proprietary software technology, and that we've really innovated when it comes to relocation and real estate. What we do is we take this technology and really couple it with our access to the multiple listing service nationally. So if you don't live in Georgia, no problem. You live in Alabama, you live in Chicago, it doesn't matter. We can help you no matter where you live. Our personal relocation managers are truly the expert's expert when it comes to real estate. They are there to really give you an unbiased viewpoint and be your advocate to help you understand what your home should be valued at, and more importantly, which realtor is really the most successful in your marketplace. Whether you were to put your home on the market traditionally with a sign in the front lawn, which by the way, your personal relocation manager on average, when they're managing and helping you behind the scenes, on average, they're able to get your home sold in half the time and on average within 1% of that suggested selling price. We have a couple of other neat solutions in addition to a traditional method, and that's our Quick Buy program. Some of you might have seen, maybe you pass by a traffic light every blue moon and you see a sign that says, "We buy ugly houses, we pay cash for homes." That's not us. Our Quick Buy program is a very easy program. We would be your buyer. We pay cash, so we don't have a mortgage. And it's a great program for homes that qualify. It absolutely is a safe solution during COVID to really eliminate having those people coming in and out of your house and be able to sell your home very quickly. But again, your personal relocation manager can walk you through our programs. In addition, we just came up with a brand new program called our Quick Buy Lock program, which is neat. They're actually a current resident at the Spires Berry College. So actually several residents took advantage of this program. And the program is this: you have that safety net of that quick buy offer where we're the buyer paying cash for your house, but you wanted to try putting it on the open market to get a little bit more money. No problem. We hope you get your money, but no, if you don't sell your house or at any time you want to take advantage of having that offer come into play that we've given you, that's our Quick Buy Lock program. Again, this is so neat that the Spires at Berry College pays for a personal relocation manager to be your advocate and help you and walk you through each of our home sale solutions. Because believe it or not, real estate is local and everybody's journey and everybody's home sales can be very different. So it's really comforting and neat to know that you have a personal relocation manager who's going to be there to be your advocate and help you. I love testimonials, I have to share with you. So if ever we work with one of you, I'm probably going to be calling you, or my partner in crime at Moving Station, Yvonne Tucker, might reach out to you and ask you, tell us about your experience. And a current resident at the Spires Berry College shared this quote with us: "I value your help and assistance so much in all of this. Some days it just seems so overwhelming to be doing this on my own. Thank you so much for your help and patience with me. I appreciate it so very much." I have to tell you, this is a great example of how a personal relocation manager, again, a gift from the Spires at Berry College, is there for whatever you need, however many times a day you need to talk to them, or for however many different situations you need help with. We are not here to sell you anything. We're just here to help you, support you. We do this every day. So I promise you, there's not a question we haven't been able to answer, and there's not a problem we can't come up with a solution for. I love this other quote. This gal actually, or this couple was also a resident at the Spires Berry College. And I love their quote. We needed answers and we needed them fast. The comfort in all this chaos was knowing our PRM or personal relocation manager was only a phone call away. That's the truth. The truth is in the pudding. Your personal relocation manager is there every minute of every day to help you and guide you. And again, everybody's journey is very different, and we're here to help you every step of the way.
Jen, I think it would be great to get our residents in there, Susie and the Smiths, because I know both of you sort of had different experiences with the moving station. So Susie, did you use the moving station at all?
I did use the moving station.
What
In the very beginning, in the very beginning, my move was more complicated because my daughter had to sell her house to move into my house. So I didn't have to sell my house, but she had to sell hers. And the moving station was very willing to help her sell her house so she could do that for me.
cool.
We didn't have to go that route. She was able to do that on her own, but that was just a comfort knowing that. And then back in January or February, they offered an organizer to come and help me. And one came and spent a couple of hours with me, and we walked through my house and at no charge. And she just gave me ideas of what I could do with some of my furniture and what I should take, what I should not take. She taught me how to take my big sofa, so there wasn't room for it, in which my kids have been telling me, but then I believed her.
That's neat.
So
That
that
is
was good. And then when it came time to move, I got another call and I got a name of a moving company. And Nathaniel arranged the moving company for me. And so it was great. It just took a lot of that worry off of my having to look for those things myself.
sure, absolutely. What about the Smiths? Did you all, I think you used the moving station, didn't you?
We did.
Yeah.
We appreciate, first of all, we appreciated the vetting of the realtors and the movers so much. And even though we have lived in Rome all these years, it just helped to know that you agreed with some of our, assessments of who might be the best. So also our personal manager, she visited with us. And even though you look at a layout day in and day out, and you measure your furniture and you configure what can be in this room and that room, it's so helpful to get someone with a clear view of her own about as she looks at your house for the first time and she says, "Oh, that sofa that you love that you thought you could squeeze in, no, I'm so sorry, it's not going to make it." But that helped us then to kind of readjust our thinking, and she was very helpful.
Well, yeah, because I'm sure that Jen, they know the layout of all of the apartments and everything. So when they're going to the homes of Susie's home and the Smith's homes or anybody's home, then they can already know kind of how it's all going to work, right?
Absolutely. And that's what the personal relocation managers do such an incredible job is vetting not only the realtors, identifying, so helping you select the right people, because you don't want to be stressed out and we're here to
No.
make it easy for you. So vetting professional organizers, van lines, whatever it is that you might need, we're here to help.
That is so great. All right, we are going to bring Jill in here just to sort of finish things up, and I want to ask all of you to hang in there because we do have some questions that we want to get to for sure before the presentation is over. But Jill, I think this is a perfect time to help folks look at that timeline that Morgan mentioned to think about the time between now and when this special offer ends and help us understand what would be next steps. If somebody listening today says, okay, I at least want to explore this, what are their next steps?
Okay, absolutely. First of all, if you want to move in next week, we can try to make that happen. But I think the thought of moving in the next month usually paralyzes people because it is such a huge undertaking. But we are working with you guys to give you as much time as you possibly need. So in October, which is now, and believe it or not, is almost over, meet with a sales counselor and reserve a home. So call me, call Sarah. Of course, our numbers will be on here later. And let's find your perfect home for you. November, you can pay your 10% reservation deposit, which holds your personal home until you move in. December, you can pick a date to move in anytime in 2021. And also get a real estate agent to get you a CMA if you want to do the promissory note. Then we just roll right into 2021, where you meet with your senior move manager. February, you can do your promissory note and move into the Spires by February. March, your home is on the market. April, any remaining downsizing happens, and your senior move manager will hold your hand the whole way through this. Let's say in May, your home sells and you use the proceeds to pay your promissory note. You're already in the Spires, you're already settled in, you're already having a great time. And then your next steps, like I said, you give Sarah or myself a call. We're about to pop up our numbers and our email. Determine which financing option works best for you. We've had people whose homes have sold in 2 days, and we've had people do the promissory note. You just have to figure out what works best for you. Connect with Moving Station. You guys, these guys are amazing, and they're at no cost to you whatsoever. They literally hold your hand and help you through this whole process. And begin planning your move, because we can't wait for you to be here. So Sarah and I can answer any of your questions. Our numbers are here. Our numbers are pretty similar, 706-728. She's 3600, I'm 3609. And then our emails are our first name dot last name at retire@berry.com. And then also Morgan can answer any questions you have too. We'll pop her number and email up too. She's our Vice President of Marketing from Greenbrier. She's a wealth of knowledge. Morgan is a genius at this. She really is. And there's her number and her email. Her last name is Lamphere. So luckily they spelled that out. That was the hardest thing about meeting Morgan, not screwing up her last name.
Absolutely. Before we get everybody in here to answer some of the questions that we have, I want to encourage you to ask your question, those of you attending. So this is a live presentation. There's a form that if you scroll down just under the window that you're looking at now, you will see right there a place to submit your question. Put your name, the question, make sure you hit the submit button, and that will come straight to us. In fact, we already have a question here that Timothy is asking, and I am just gonna, I think this is probably gonna be a Jill Morgan question, but Timothy wants to know, he says, I've looked at some of the floor plans and I have concern about wheelchair access designs. Are there particular floor plans that are more accommodating for me to consider?
Yes, we have some ADA floor plans. We have 9 different homes, and that may be more than 9. That's off the top of my head. I actually have to look at the floor plan, but we have a 1-bedroom option and a 2-bedroom option and a 2-bedroom, 2.5-bath option that have the lower counters. The microwave is on the counter. So there's a lot of accessibility.
Wow, that is great. Susie, a question for you. So did you know anyone before you moved in? I don't think you said that you did, but I didn't ask you that question. Did you know anybody, or what drew you to that particular property?
Yes, I knew some people, but the thing that drew me to this particular property is it's in Rome.
Oh, I see.
I'm from Rome and I have connections with my church and things, so I wanted to stay in the Rome area. But yes, I knew a few people that were also moving here. I had, and I've met a lot of people since I've moved in. So it's been nice.
Very nice. Yeah, that's very special. So Morgan, quick question to you on the
Yes.
financial presentation. You talked about the entrance fee. So what
Yes.
is an entrance fee?
Oh, yeah, good question. So to move into the Spires, you pay an entrance fee, which is the cost of your home. And we have a few different contract options to choose from, but almost everyone that moves into the Spires pays an entrance fee anywhere from $180,000 for one of our 1-bedroom apartment homes, all the way up to $760,000 for one of our larger freestanding cottages. And that entrance fee that you pay is 90% refundable for as long as you live in the home. So if you decide to move out after 5 or 6 years and move to Hawaii and leave the Spires, you're going to get 90% back on the entrance fee that you paid. And you receive that refund as soon as we've received another entrance fee for a similar home. So it's a really nice way to come into the community and know that you've got that financial security that the refund is coming back to you.
Dr. Smith and Anita Smith, a quick question for you. Is what for folks who are considering this, what is something that you wish you had known before you moved in? Anything?
That's easy. I wish I had been able to see this in its full construction. We were doing all this off a piece of paper, and I don't do well with just lines on a piece of paper. Anybody coming in now can actually see and actually be inside the rooms that they would come to. It'd be a whole lot easier to make a decision, I would think.
And to be on the property and to walk around. Is that how you feel too, Anita?
Yes, and of course it's very understandable with COVID the way it was.
Whoops, I think the Smiths,
Once we,
the internet. Whoops, try that again, Anita. We lost you for just a second. Say that again.
Okay, it says my connection. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes, I said, well, with COVID, they were very, very careful and really did not want us coming on until it was absolutely set. And so, but I think we all knew, watching over these several years, watching it being built and always keeping us informed. We heard from the Spires very, very often. So we just felt very confident that even though we couldn't see it, we felt very confident that it would be good. And it has been everything that we'd hoped for.
Oh, that's so great. Jill, Judy wants to know, if I schedule an appointment, what will I actually get to see on the campus?
We do what we call, or what I refer to as a COVID-friendly tour. So you can see the Commons area. So we walk through, we can go to the Wellness Center, the Art Studio. You can see the dining area. We don't really get into it because 9 times out of 10, of course, there are people eating. We have a model apartment and we have a model cottage that we can both access them from outside, so we don't go through the common areas where people are living. So we stay in the perimeter of safety, but yet you get to see and experience the feel. Just when you come through the front door, it's just almost an experience in itself. When you look through the big glass windows and you see Lavender Mountain and Eagle Lake, it's literally breathtaking.
Oh, that is so great. Which that what you were just describing fits in with Tom. Tom has a question. Are all the cottages built yet?
Yes, they are all built. They are all completed. They are ready for tours.
Are they different floor models, or are all the cottages basically the same?
4 different floor models, but only 3 are still available. So we have an Egan, a Cornell, and 1 Martin left.
Oh, wow. Okay. And those are the things that you're going to show folks when they make an appointment.
Absolutely.
And speaking of making an appointment, also on your screen, you will see a button, and I'm looking down here at my notes. It says make an appointment right there on your screen. They're making it so easy for you. If you click on that, you'll see a calendar pop up. You can pick a date, you can pick a time, and then Jill or Sarah will meet with you, whether you want to meet in person or you want to meet over the phone or in a Zoom call or something like that. They can do it either way, just so that they can connect with you and get any other questions that come to mind. Because I guarantee you, before dinner hits the table tonight, the attendee, you folks are going to think of something. You're like, why didn't I ask that question? And that's what Jill and Sarah can help you get answered. Even if you make an appointment, it doesn't have to be some elaborate tour if you're not ready for that, but just having a conversation with them, having somebody that you know that you can connect with, it would be terrific. So I really encourage all of you to take the time to set an appointment with one of them and to learn more. So before we close it out today, any thought, any what am I trying to say? Last thoughts before we close this out, and I'm throwing that out to anybody. So go for it.
I have a last thought. This is Susie. One important thing to me about the Spires is I should never have to move again. If I need memory care, if I need rehab, if I need assisted living, I've got it right here. And I just move next door, or my family moves me next door, and my kids will worry about what to do with the stuff over here. But to me, that was just very reassuring, that I don't ever have to worry about my health care again. It's all right here.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Jill or Morgan, about the CCRC and what that means?
Sure, absolutely. And like I said earlier, it is first of all, our Magnolia Place is our healthcare center, and it is just down the hallway, right past our art studio is a hallway right into Magnolia Place. So it is about as convenient as it possibly could be. We have 4 stories. The first floor is memory care. The second is skilled nursing and rehab. And the top 2 floors are assisted living. And let me tell you, I don't know anyone's experience level with assisted living and skilled nursing facilities, but this is amazing. It is a beautiful flow from our independent living. You literally don't even know that you're in a healthcare type area. It's everything just flows right into each other. We have some models there. We have model rooms, a model assisted living area. There's dining areas. It's gorgeous. So if you're interested in that, we do tours of that right now. You can do both in one day. So, but it just makes that transition easier. And if
Sure.
one person out of a couple, I always use my parents as an example since they are here. If my mom needs memory care at some point, my dad literally can just walk down the hall and hang out with my mom. Or if, or vice versa, either way. Or they can both move over to the assisted living together. There's so many options of how you can do it. But in independent living, you can still have some in-home care. Lots of options out there. But like Susie says, you don't have to worry about trying to find a nice quality place to go. It's already right here.
It's right here. Susie, such a great point. Anybody else have a parting thought? Okay. You do?
I do. I think for some of you that might be dipping your toes in, if this is the right move for you or not, you can take advantage of Moving Made Easy, maybe to help you on the backside of what this looks like. Just make an appointment with Jill or Sarah. They can connect you with a personal relocation manager to maybe help answer those questions that might be kind of tying you up a little bit on making that final decision if moving to the Spires at Berry College is right for you or not. So do take advantage of all of the different benefits that the Spires provides to you, including a personal relocation manager.
Terrific. Well, thanks so much, you all, for joining me today and sharing with everybody all the wonderful things happening at the Spires at Berry College. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Jill or Sarah. Find out from them anything you want to know about it. Schedule your tour. You have to get those scheduled because of COVID right now and just the way that the property is set up. It's important because there are gates there and you won't be able to get in unless you set up an appointment. But we thank you all so much for being with us today. We hope you've had a little bit of fun. And I certainly hope that Susie and the Smiths have had a little bit of fun. I know it's not as great as the activities at the Spires that you guys love to do, but we appreciate you giving us an hour of your lives today to share with all these other folks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody. Take care.
Come join us.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.